Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, August 25th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, we are looking at OPEN. Been tracking this one very routinely, and wow, what a way to end the week. Drew these lines in the previous video. Key will level that red line there as resistance, and you can see broke out, came back down, but the second time it broke out on the morning, absolutely exploded upwards. So yes, moral of the story, definitely some updates here need to be done. So I'll get rid of those levels as they serve their purpose for now. And moving forward, what I would call the ideal level of support, when you say, hey Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? So let's change this to green for support. And that would be if the price could stay up here above $4.50. Now, with that being said, if the price falls below $4.50, that does not mean the entire chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that. But yeah, if the price could manage to somehow stay above $4.50, that would be a very impressive sign of power. Taking a step back, though, and looking at things from the bigger picture point of view, that is where the key area of support right there, the purple line, comes into play, the 50-period simple moving average. Keyword being moving. So as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So in some senses, if you just want to look at that as a trend line that's going to be drawn for you, then from the overarching standpoint, as long as the price remains above the trend line, then overall the bulls are in full control of the movement. Again, yes, preferably speaking, if it could stay above 450, that would be very impressive. But from the grand scheme of it all, as long as it's above that purple line, that's what matters most. In terms of areas of resistance, no need to overcomplicate this. Just ask the question, where did the party finally stop today? And that stopped up there at about $5.10. So keep an eye on 5.10 moving forward. Again, nothing fancy behind that logic other than that's just simply where the party stopped for the bulls today. But all in all, very, very impressive way to end the week. Next one, IXHL, another one where very, very impressive way to end the week. And now we have a good quality pattern here. And this is one of those patterns where when you see it, doesn't guarantee anything per se, but it is a very popular pattern, and it's a good, powerful pattern. So there's the top of the pattern right there, area of resistance. Here is the bottom part of the pattern right there. Just want to kind of show you where that trend line is coming from. So let's change that to green for support. And then just to make the pattern easier to see, let's keep it all the same color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. You have the big, nice upwards move right there. For you golfers, trying to make it more visual, put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because it's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to explode upwards. But is it valid to think that if the price were to come up here and break through there, that break could create additional buying pressure? Absolutely. So again, guaranteed, absolutely not. But is it valid to throw out there that question as a potential scenario? Absolutely. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull pennants, keep an eye on it. Next one here, MODV, and we have ourselves another one of these scenarios where it is a bull pennant, not nearly as good because this one is actually occurring in a downwards environment, but nonetheless, it is still a bull pennant. And instead of using a trend line for the top part of the pattern, I'm just going to go ahead and use the purple line right there, that 50-period moving average. And let me just draw it all in, and then that way you can see where it's coming from. So again, if we just use this as the top part of the pattern, and then we do that right there as the bottom part, and then we just talk about the big upwards move right there. And, I'll extend this out here just to make it maybe a little bit more easy to see. Put the golf hole down here. So there is the bull pennant pattern. But again, not all bull pennants are created equal. Bull pennants that are occurring in overall uptrends still don't necessarily guarantee anything, but they do look better than bull pennants are happening in this situation in a downtrend. But also, to be fair, just because there's a bull pennant in a downtrend doesn't mean that this is not the start of some sort of, maybe consolidation and bigger move up. So once again, bull pennant. Now it's just a question of, is this going to lead to maybe some sort of bigger reversal on the bigger time frames? We'll see what happens. Next one here, NIO, and I'm having a case of deja vu because, I talked about this one in the previous video, talked about that pattern right there, and, as I draw this in, you're not alone. Hopefully I'm not alone, but it feels like almost the exact same situation of what we just talked about in the previous day. I mean, look at that. Anyways, we are looking at another bull flag pattern. Here was this bull flag. Got the nice move up. And all of a sudden, we're looking at another bull flag. Now, does that mean that for sure guaranteed another bull flag is going to happen? No, there are no guarantees. But this is what I was talking about earlier. When you have bull pennants and bull flags that are already occurring in uptrends, still doesn't guarantee anything, but it does give you this sort of capability where maybe, just maybe, on Monday, you get this exact same thing. Another breakout, and then it consolidates. But at the end of the day, we have yet another bull flag pattern here on NIO. Next one, ELAB, and a pretty rough looking chart. I mean, when you stop thinking about the fact that at one point the price was up here and it has since dropped all the way down there. Definitely things are rough, but there is still some potential here because there is still the opportunity for the price to build a higher base. And from a bigger picture standpoint, if price can build higher lows, then that does imply that there is still progress being made. And this is where I would say going into next week, these levels down here are very, very important. That purple line, which I mentioned before, is that 50 period simple moving average. Pink line is the 200 period moving average. And I'm not saying that this will occur, but this is why I would say this is a must-hold area. If the price were to come down in this area and then just go down below, at that point, that is quite literally putting the price right back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that explode upwards and then go right back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine strength. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to occur, but that is why I'm using a very dramatic term for these areas down in here of kind of do or die must-hold areas. So definitely keep a close eye on this general area from a support side of things. In terms of levels of resistance, you can get a pretty straight down trend line right there, which is really just kind of illustrating the severity of it getting pushed back downwards. But if you do like to try to catch reversals and play breakouts, maybe, just maybe, if the price can push up through there and, could create some upside buying pressure, I think that is a valid scenario. Real quick, want to take a break and help you maybe solve a very common problem out there, and that is the pattern day trader rule, with the idea of people wanting to be day traders. And when I say day trader, I mean having unlimited day trades every single day. So they want to have that situation, but they can't because of the pattern day trader rule. Well, there is a market available out there. There is a strategy. It's what I'm doing that allows you for very small amounts of money to have unlimited day trades every single day. And quite frankly, the market moves even better than some of these stocks that I've been showing you. It's a very, very volatile market. So if you like movement and you don't want to risk a whole lot, then definitely check out the link that you've seen at the top of the screen. But I also understand if all of this is coming across as maybe a little sketchy. Totally understand. That's why I'm inviting you. Check out my live stream, because this is what I've been doing. So I put my money where my mouth is, and you can watch it play out right before your very eyes and ask me questions, because it is a live stream. So if you want, swing by the live stream. It starts at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and then usually I go for a few hours. Next one here, we are looking at CYCU, and we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So let's get this drawn into play. There is the top part of the pattern. I'm going through these quicker now because you've already heard me talk about it. So I want to respect your time as much as possible. So let's keep it all one color. I suppose you could probably argue this would be a bull flag. So whatever you want to call it, bull flag, bull pennant. But there's our supports and resistance levels. There's a nice move up. So, keep an eye on that. But then at the end of the day, whatever you want to call it, that psychology is the same. There was a big move up. Now there's some consolidating. Now it's just a question of, will the price get a move in the upwards direction? So if you like penny stocks, you like these sorts of patterns, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, INTC. Very nice recovery with the news today. Things were starting to sink back downwards, but it's made a nice push back up. And let's get this level mapped out right here as a key area of resistance right at the $25.15 mark. If you go back through the history of the chart, you can see right here this area was behaving as a very solid area of support. And then basic rules and charts suggest that when levels of support are broken, they tend to act as resistance. And you can see, surprise, surprise, look right where the price is now struggling right there at 25.14. So that doesn't mean that the price can never push back up above there. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price is struggling right there, and that moving forward, that'll be the key battleground to watch from the resistance side of things. And then in terms of areas of support, just keep an eye on that purple line right there, which you know is the 50 period moving average right now, valued at 24, basically 15. So basically a dollar range. And as long as the price stays above there, then overall it's just a healthy consolidation. But what I would say needs to be avoided is if the price were to come down on the purple line and then break down through it, then we have one of those problems all of a sudden where you have a situation where the price made a great move and all of a sudden right back to where it was, which from a bullish standpoint is not actually a sign of any sort of genuine strength. But moving forward, 25.15 key area of resistance and 24.15 key area of support. Next one, SBET, and wow, grab your popcorn. Maybe you know right where I'm going to talk about here. But check out the big movement up, yes, but now look where the price has been struggling right here at the pink line, value of it $21, and you can see right there, rejected, and then even the last 30 minutes right there, once again rejected. So you got to think everybody and their brother's uncle is wondering, can the price actually finally get above the $21 mark, and then more importantly, stay up above it. So that is by far, at least in my opinion, the most interesting dynamic. And I think if I had to guess, the dynamic that most people are watching and caring about. So we'll see if the price can actually, like I said, get above that level and stay above it. In terms of areas of support, ideal level that you'd want to see hold is if the price can stay above that line right there. But even if it doesn't, then as I've talked about in other ones, from the overarching standpoint, just watch that purple line right there, 50 period moving average. And as that line moves higher and higher, as long as the price stays above there, then the overall movement you can still call fully bullish. Next one here, NVDA. Very, very impressive move after a very rough start. Price gap down here, and then, yeah, Powell started to talk and got the break, and then a very nice move up from there. So we'll go ahead and get rid of these lines down here as they serve their purpose for now. I'm going to leave this line out here at 171 just in case it comes into play maybe next week. But moving forward, we have the same exact situation as, what was that? I think INTC, where key area of resistance right now, that pink line up there, the 200 period moving average right now valued at 179.25. And then key area of support in the ideal sense, meaning, it's not a do or die level. 171 is certainly way more important of a support, but it's kind of irrelevant right now given its way down here. But in the near term, if the price can continue to stay above that purple line, which it did a beautiful job of right there, then 175.50 is going to be that near term key area of support. But all in all, considering how things started to then how things ended, NVIDIA had a great day. Next one here, TSLA, Tesla, and a lot of these other ones. Very, very impressive day. So much so that, it is now working its way all the way back up to this area of resistance that going into today, this seemed somewhat irrelevant because the price was so far away from it. But that just really illustrates how much of an explosion there was today. So yes, next key battleground now moving forward right up there at the 343 mark. And then if the price can push up through there, then, now you're not starting to look at resistance levels up until right around probably the 348 mark. Now, in the event, in the near term of things, same idea of what we just talked about. In fact, let me just move this one up. Or ideally speaking, what would make this chart look the best? Certainly if the price can stay above 330, 350. But again, like some of these other ones, just watch from the overarching standpoint, that purple line there, 50 period moving average. So as it begins to slope back upwards, like I said, just envision that as a trend line. And as long as the price stays above the trend line, then overall the bulls are in full support. But no doubt about it, very, very impressive way to end the week here for Tesla. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you are sick and tired of the pattern day trade rule, if you want to have unlimited day trades every single day in a market that moves amazingly well, then definitely check out the link that I've been, that you see at the top of the screen. Or if you're skeptical for whatever reason, I understand, like I said earlier, then I am inviting you, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you can be reminded of when I go live, so you can come see what I'm talking about here, play out right before your very eyes, and ask me any sort of questions that you may have. So definitely check it out, consider it, and like I said, stop putting yourself under that pattern day trading rule. There are better ways to go about your day trading ambition. So thanks for hanging out. As always, hopefully I'll see you on the live stream. Have a great weekend.